Welcome to the Barbell Strikes Back. I'm James McDermott, joined by Miguel Porter. Miguel, we're talking about weightlifting today.
Yep.
It's one of our favorite topics.
We're back.
We're back. Finally. There's a lot of CrossFit going on. But to be fair, we do dabble quite a bit in that. We're doing a lot of coaching hours. We're doing a lot of practice for those classes. And it's been pretty busy so far with the open and quarterfinals and everything else going on. So, yeah, we're back to weightlifting. It feels good to be home.
Yep.
And there are things going on in the weightlifting world. You know, I'm sure you've been doing your research and you follow the international scene a lot more than I do. But I do know that going on right now is the USA Weightlifting Masters National Championships and the universities as well. So that's pretty exciting.
Yep.
Do you follow any of that? Do you follow like what's going on with the competitions USAW's putting out?
Not exactly. Like these are different, I guess, since they're not like fully everyone. I know that they do the meets where like they're kind of mixed in, but like, yeah, when it's just the age groups, I'm not as knowledgeable, I would say.
Yeah, and there's more coming. You know, later on in the year there'll be the youth and juniors going, and along with the seniors. It would be just too crazy of a big multi-week competition to do them all at the same time.
Yeah,
just all back to back, and yeah, and that just reminds me of like the challenges for like the coaches that have athletes going to all those. If they were to do like a 3-week festival, all the age groups,
right.
You might have to be there day one to the last day, and that becomes to be a very expensive trip, unless you're lucky enough to have it in your hometown or something like that.
Yeah.
But it is cool, or maybe a good idea that they moved universities to pair with the Masters, because that means the Arnold was a little bit easier with not having to have two separate competitions, just focus on one thing and the rogue stage and all that other stuff.
Right.
Because as you know, when we went there, it was pretty crazy with having all of it.
Yeah. And I think it like does a weird thing where I think people should have to kind of choose what they're doing so that like once an A session is done, you know what medals are going where. Because I know like sometimes they mix it with like, okay, this person is lifting like university stuff, but they'll also get like put into the open category as well, like if they do well there. So like they might win for university and get like on the podium for the open as well. And yeah, I think it kind of mixes things up, because I mean, if you're not competing on the same stage, I feel like that's a little bit different. Obviously there are like the different sessions, but I even think like the rogue strength stage, I think kind of, unless someone is like clearly ahead, I think it kind of muddles things a bit, because you're giving them a whole different environment, and like especially with like the mix of the weight classes and things, like people might have to follow themselves. They might like following themselves. They might, be mixed in or get more of a crowd. Just different conditions, I guess. So I do think it's better to just mix them or keep them separate. I mean,
yeah, no, you're right. Like at the Arnold, let's say you're in an A session, but there's someone who's also doing universities. The sessions might not line up. What if you go first? Then now they kind of have an advantage to look to big. All right, we can win universities. We can also beat Miguel by a kilo and claim that title too. So there's going to be a disadvantage either way. There's like no way to make it perfect. And if you put someone on the rogue stage and they're going to lift like maybe after, and the athletes that are on the A session or whatever for the Arnold, they lift first. Now they got to wait for the medal ceremony whenever you go. And there's also like that assumption, well, they're better than you. They're clearly on the, it's like, you just don't want any of that stuff to happen, but it does, unfortunately. It even happens at the state championships where we have people who dual register. But the rule that we do there is you lift in the earliest age group possible. So
Yeah.
if you're a masters, you're lifting in the masters, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're choosing to be at that disadvantage. Although the one athlete that won everything last year, she was just so dominant, it didn't even really matter. So yeah, dual registration is stressful. Also, as someone who puts together the meets, because you're like, you could easily forget. You're like, wait a minute, like if the software wasn't doing all that stuff, that like they lifting at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning, and now all of a sudden it's the end of the day, and you just finished the session they should be in, and I'm very grateful to have the software that we have that just it spits it out, and it keeps getting better and better now. The software. Which, speaking of software, that is going to be part of my life the next week and a half or so, because I have to build our regional in the software on the computer, not this computer, the special computer. So this is when I have like a command station start to build, where there's like laptops everywhere, and so yeah, I got to do that twice a year. I have to do that, and then eventually, maybe just once. Once I retire from New York weightlifting. So not like I'm looking forward to that or anything, but it's gonna be nice. Someone else's problem.
Right.
You're running the New York State Championships then, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So our regional's coming up, so that's good. We sold out yesterday, which was nice. Boy, that's a nice feeling when you wake up and you're like, oh, like, all right, I got to wait till the end of the day to do stuff. But nope, bright and early, 3 more people signed up. They got those spots. So I was able to close the registration, get the start list and everything out there. And so that's nice to have that stage be done and know what the competition is going to be. We actually, we have the most men I think we've ever had at this meet. Like, remember the early years where it was just like, oh, there's 48 women lifting and 5 men, and you're one of those 5 guys. We have 32 men. I have 2 sessions of 16 and 16.
Yeah.
I was talking to Joe Rod. I was like, where have they all been? Where have all these guys been? Because all of our meets were like that for a while.
Yeah.
Where it's, why do you think that was? Like in just that couple years ago? I mean, like post-COVID, I don't know. Why do you think the guys weren't signing up for stuff?
Honestly, I feel like there's more ego. And I think that leads into like one, hurting yourself potentially. And also I think we're more temperamental when it comes to competitions, where if we're not feeling above like 90%, like we simply just won't compete. Whereas I think on the women's side, they do a better job of like just handling themselves overall. Like I feel like they're hurt less than the guys are. And then also they're also better at, I don't know, like even controlling emotions at a meet of like, okay, this isn't going to be my best, but I'm going to go and do what I can today. So yeah, I think that's what it is.
I can agree with that, because it's not like if I look at anyone who's competing now, it's not like, of course there's a bunch of new people, but like there's like a lot of guys that like, yeah, you were lifting that whole time. But see, I think you're right in that little bit, where the women will auto-regulate a little bit better, where they're like, all right, I'm going to bump down my openers, or I'm going to make tighter jumps, and I'm just going to, try to make as many lifts as possible. Like, I don't really see very many women who are, it's like, we're just going to like try to post a total and go 2 for 6,
right?
But a lot of guys will do that, and then they'll end up bombing out, and then they won't sign up for the next one because they're still recovering from the bomb out, and all that stuff. And I do see, since I get all the emails, I would say the majority of the people that withdraw are men. And especially in, like people withdraw for different reasons, but the injury things that I see where people are like, yeah, I just completely blew out my shoulder, or I did this or that, are like from the heavier weight classes too. So it might be, and just because you're in the heavier weight class doesn't mean you're lifting like the biggest weights. But I
Yeah.
wonder if just because they are bigger, they'll try for things that maybe they're not ready for
Hmm.
yet. We've kind of learned that lesson on our team with our big guys, on like, all right, you can kind of see the clear division between you're ready for this and no, you're not ready for this.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but you can still try to make that thing happen. And then that's when you hurt yourself a little bit. So that is where I see a lot of like, because and you've seen it too at like states disappearing weight classes all of a sudden,
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, where'd all the 94 men go? Where'd all the 110 guys go?
Hmm.
And then we have 8 people lifting in the final session. It's yeah, it is an interesting thing. Do you think that there could be an economic reason too? Do you think at least maybe a few years ago, women were more likely to spend the money to go to the meet and the experience and everything, and maybe the guys were a little more like, I don't want to pay that, or whatever it is.
I don't know. I don't know if that's it. Um, I also do think that women are better planners. I think that's also a piece of it where like I feel like they're better at seeing like, all right, I signed up for this meet months in advance, or I know what I have coming up months in advance. Whereas guys are kind of just floating along and like, I mean, even like myself, like I signed up for the meet and then like 2 days later, I was like, wait, I can't do the meet. So I also think like that's a factor in it too, where like guys will sign up and then realize like, oh, I have so much going on that weekend. There's no shot I can make it to this meet. I don't know about cost per se. Yeah, I guess I never thought too much about cost, but
Or maybe it's just
yeah, I don't know.
like the registration opens and no one was expecting that all of the women lifters would just register. Like, oh, early
Right.
bird, let me do it now. And then all of a sudden, the guy like it sells out, and the guy's like, what?
Yeah.
Like it even happens at states when it sells out so quickly in like 40 days. Starting in May, and you're like, oh, I was planning to register, in August and it's like, no,
Right.
you got to jump on that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes, you will not be able to be with us at the regional. Very sad. Very sad. Unless something changed. I don't know. How far are you going to be?
Pretty far. Pretty far.
Pretty far. Damn it, darn it. All right. I was going to say drive through the night. We'll have you lift first thing, and then you're back out. All right. Well, and the week before is your birthday, so you weren't going to be able to really lift at all, right? On like either.
Yeah, no, it was most likely. I mean, maybe, but it would have just been like as easy as I could possibly go just to like not stress myself out on that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to end up being a good situation for you either way. Like at least where you can't go because you have a prior obligation, that makes it easy. But now you don't have to feel bad about enjoying your birthday, and you don't have to be miserable the day after your birthday doing this thing. And then potentially, because there's going to be like, well, let's put this on. Like there's going to be like we're staying away from hairy situations where it's like, no, all right, let's go for it or something like that. Because you also have after the meet another goal that we don't want to mess with either, so this is probably a sign that it was meant to be, that this was
I think so.
That like any other course of action would have taken Miguel down a whole nother road, and we don't need that. So I'm pumped for the regional. It's coming along smoothly. The team is doing well. We're in our taper right now, whatever that means. What do you think about the way I'm doing the taper?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're always just doing stuff. I don't think it really makes too much of a difference as long as everyone can feel fine by the time the meet comes around.
I'm slowly becoming maybe not unenamored is the like maybe disillusioned or something, like with like the whole process of tapering, with athletes at this level,
Yeah.
and like because like we've done it, and if you think about it, like last year, everybody killed it at the regional, but we had like 3 solid months of hard training and we really pushed it. And then like we took just two, like not even really, because like still going for the openers and stuff is hard, but we took like a week and a half of like lighter things, just reducing it.
Yeah.
And then we went out and you guys killed it. For states, we didn't have the best training through the summer leading into states. And then we did taper. We did a longer, I think, 3 week taper. And everyone just kind of seemed, doing their best, but it was like flatter than the regional,
Yeah.
So I don't know. And it's hard to justify tapering if people aren't consistent and come. It's like, then what are you tapering from? That's like
Mhm.
so it almost seems to make more sense to just keep training hard, but just like put yourself in situations that would make your brain think a little more on like, okay, we're in total mode now. We're going to try to
Yeah.
break totals, and we're going to do this for several weeks, and then we're going to repeat the process on a Saturday, and it's no different then psychologically. It's not like we're going
Yeah.
from like complexes and stuff to then all of a sudden jumping into that. Or like just picking drills where you can push yourself on and either keep it light and get volume or push yourself and go heavy. And they're drills to work on specific things. Like we can just focus more on technique with strength paired along with it. Like the pauses from the hang. It's like, okay, what did you get on the pause snatch? 74 kilos?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 74. So it's like when you throw in pauses, and stuff like that, or like tweak the drill, it auto regulates itself. It is lighter. So what's the
Right.
difference between me assigning you 70 kilos versus you just tapping out at 70 kilos? And you did what you could do that day versus me saying, all right, Miguel, you got to do 70 kilos for 5 sets. And you're like, I only had one in me. Like, but
Yeah.
like, so it's, I think it's working out nicely, and it's going. It seems like what we were doing before. It's like a play on what we were doing before, where we're doing pausing from the knee on the floor up, and then pausing on the 1 inch and all these other drills we were doing. And now we're going back to the hang lifts because that's like getting us more back to basics, and we can do
Right.
it twice in that week, one with a pause, one without, and you can tee off on both of them and feel good. Or just realize, okay, this is just how I feel today. But the next time we do it, the next day, you feel good. So I don't know. I think it's going to work out. Hopefully, a little better. It's an experiment.
Yeah.
I think. Do you think that is there a pressure like when we're like, all right, this is a real taper. Like here's the sets and reps, the percentages. Like, do you think this way is better mentally or psychologically than like the other way where you see the percentages and you're just so tired and you don't know, or you're not feeling it that day, and then you're missing lifts? At least now you're missing lifts because you're pushing yourself. It's like it's a little different.
Right. I would say, yeah, I think the big thing with these different drills is that, yeah, you're still pushing for as heavy as you can go. Again, like you said, it's self-regulating where, we might not hit close to our maxes on that lift because the drill is difficult enough, but we're still like pushing hard. I think the thing that happens sometimes when we do our taper is if we are kind of playing around with lighter weights for such a long time, and then we're going up to like, I mean, for a lot of us, like what we want to open the meet with is pretty close to like PRs. So I feel like we spend a lot of time like on lighter kind of percentages, and you're kind of acclimating to that for whatever reason of like, oh, these are still difficult. And then it almost feels like you're ramping up to like hit close to your max right now. And I feel like sometimes you don't feel necessarily ready because you haven't been like pushing on the lifts. Whereas this one, we can still keep it light, but we still feel like the push, like you have to try really hard to get on those upper weights for these drills.
And that's part of what I wanted was let's just always be ready.
Yeah.
Like I used, I've said before where it's like, if the meet was this Saturday and I had to do it, I would be ready back when I was training and whatnot. But that's because every day was heavy day. Every day was a
Right.
max out day. So you just feel ready all the time. And then you feel so ready that you just come in and you're like, yeah, I will just put 60 on right now and start snatching and then do that, instead of having like the normal slower warm-up build.
Yeah.
You just feel locked into it all the time. And then you start to change psychologically too. You're like, wait a minute, for the last 10 weeks, I've snatched, 40, 50, 60. Well, I'm pretty sure I trust myself to go 40 to 60 now, or
Yeah.
50 to 70 now. And you start to just like kind of remove things because you've just built up that confidence, like just hitting the weights over and over and over again. So now we can kind of do that. We can hit the weights over and over again. You guys have the specific ways that you guys like to build up. I almost don't really need to write it on the card anymore. You guys will have it memorized, or you'll tweak it for the day. Some of you that have like know yourself well enough will like take different jumps based on how things feel. Or Schaff did this the other day where he was taking weird jumps. I'll say weird jumps in quotations on like, all right, instead of going 75, you're going to go 77. You're going to go 79.
Yeah.
Like you're going to hit those not round numbers because that's how you're going to spice this up for yourself today. You're going to make this a little interesting. So and it's cool that you guys will do that, and it's good that you have that freedom to do that. And if you're not feeling it, then all right, all right, if I want to, I can just bump it back down, hit some drop sets. I could stay with doubles, or I can move on to singles. Keeping the doubles in there is my way of just being like, let's get like a base of volume and like also warm it up a little bit better than if we just went like straight singles. And then we're off to the races. So yeah, it's been working out well. I do like this new the way that I'm doing the programming overall, because it's like I had to kind of answer two questions, and we've talked about it. How do we program in a way that's going to lead to success with inconsistency from people coming in or things like that, and also people working all day and being tired at the end of the day. And so like really when I'm writing, like when I'm thinking about what are we going to do for the programming, I have all these and alsos to think about. Like I don't have a team of that you guys went to the masseuse and the physio and then lunch and all that stuff, and now you're back in for session 2. It's like, all right, you're training for different goals. This person's got a busy end of the month for their work. This, everything. So it's like, how do I navigate through all the and alsos for a group of people who have different and alsos? And this is the best way I've come up with so far. It's like, okay, we're kind of we're doing the conjugate method, the West Side way, where it's like, well, which you could stick with an exercise for multiple weeks in a row. Earlier in the year, if you remember, we would stick to something for 2 weeks, then move on.
Yep.
And now I'm doing it full on, just like every week it's different, but also we retain the main one where we're going to do a pause at the knee on Monday, and then we're going to do drop sets with the full lifts based off a percentage of that. That way we're always covering our base. Like we're not going to forget how to regular snatch, like because we finish with the regular snatch. And that's also like my sneaky way of making sure we finish with makes, because maybe if we're going for heavy lifts, you've missed a few. I want to make sure we ending with a make, just for the nervous system, for the body, for you psychologically, like you're maybe not going to remember those misses as much if like we did 5 minutes of makes, So we're getting all that. And then at the end of the week on Friday, we start to add things, like we start to build a complex almost. Like week 1, pause at the knee. Week 2, pause at the floor. Week 3, on when we move to Friday, we're doing both of them. We're going to do both, or week 2, actually, we're going to do both those drills in a complex with regular lifting. So that way, if you did miss Monday or Wednesday, guess what? You're going to be exposed to the drill anyways, and what we were talking about and practicing on Friday. And that doesn't mean Friday's a makeup day. It just means it's catching you from when you guys fall off.
Yep.
So it's I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. To how it's like we're playing chess. Like you put down like you move your chess piece. Didn't sleep at all last night, and then I got to move my chess piece. Don't worry, program's got you covered. Like I gotta figure this out, and it's working out really nicely. And we're kind of doing that now, where we're doing pause from the hang on Monday, but then we do the hang total that correlates with it on Friday, and now at this point it's just giving you an opportunity to really tee off on it, because you were trying to tee off on it on Monday, but maybe you didn't have it that day, or the drill is really hard. But then we get to Friday and you're like, oh, I can move freely now. Oh, like the chains are off. And then look at Jennifer crushing that was a 65 kilo snatch. Like that was, or 64 65, but like she was putting in some serious power from the legs on that. And that's because like the brain was still like wired a little bit to like, all right, I'm here for 5 seconds and I got to push really hard. And it's like, no, you didn't have to do that this time. Did you notice any difference on like the bar just moving once we, moved later on in the week and there were no pauses?
For me personally,
yeah.
It was fine, I guess. But no, you're right. If you're not thinking about the pause, you can kind of just find that position that you had from whatever earlier day in the week, and then just go straight from there. It's definitely less to think about. But the point that you made with kind of like there's so many other factors to deal with as well. And I think tapering at our level for I guess you could call us like casual lifters, like we have our full-time jobs. I think it's, a taper isn't fully necessary. I guess like we don't want to be buried on the day of the meet, so like the back squats that we did this past Monday, like we wouldn't want to do that before the meet because that cooked a lot of people's legs. Right. But otherwise, I think it's, for most of us, it's kind of just, I think what you need to figure out is how can I get the most out of lifting today? And I think that's what the meet is supposed to feel like as well, where we're not working under perfect conditions, whether that be physical or just like life. So you kind of just have to figure it out. And I think training regularly is going to be fine. And I think you need to go into meet day, again, knowing that we don't live under these perfect conditions. Like no matter what we do for the taper, you might show up on meet day and you're just like, oof, I'm beat up. And if you don't know how to just figure that out, then, what are you going to do at the meet? So,
yeah. And if let's say if someone's sick for a week or they go on vacation or something like that, right? When they jump back into the program, if we're in week 3, week 4, you might feel pretty behind, or you might be lifting numbers that I'm programming for you that makes sense. Like I gotta have like an on-ramp back to get you back in. And then the next week it starts to go up. But if the rest of the team is theoretically at around 88%, because we've been building up week to week, you might be at 78%. You might be like a little bit behind, and then you could be perpetually in that situation. If you, all right, then you miss another week, then you miss this, then you didn't come in on that day. So doing it this way is my answer to, you can jump back in anytime. Like, when you might miss a specific drill, but that's okay. Next week it'll be a similar drill, or we might come back to it in time, which we will, because you just keep rotating through them. And it also allows me to do that kind of more of like that little missing piece that I told you that I wanted to get back, which is like more of like the teaching part of it. I'm like, all right, like we're doing this drill. let me show you breaking it from the floor, locking in your back. This is what I want. This is what our big focus is as a group with this day.
Yep.
Versus if we have squat or warm up, squat, snatch, clean and jerk. Like there's just no, like, we don't have enough time, unless
Yeah.
everybody is really like militantly getting their stuff and we're going. There's not enough time for that. So I wanted to get that back, and I don't know how we could go back kind of to three different components, unless one of them is like smaller, like because even now with two components, even though some of them are two-parters, it's really the same thing. It's really like,
Yeah.
instead of us spending 20 minutes to snatch, I'm going to give you 15 minutes to do this, then we'll take 5 minutes to do the drop sets and stuff. But it looks like it's more, but it's not. We're still finishing close to 8 or like
Yeah.
like there. So I don't know. Do you think I don't know if we should ever need to get back to um 3 components in a day. I don't know.
Mm.
Do you feel like I think it might be you might feel rushed. We might realize that, like, how rushed we felt before. Because I used to feel rushed. It's like,
Yeah.
we gotta get going. Why isn't anyone getting their shoes on? Now I feel a little more laid back with it because I know it will fit. And this is like another answer to the because of this. Like, all right, you guys are gonna take 8 minutes to get your shoes on. All right, it doesn't matter now, even though no one's doing that per se, but it's like, this is the answer to that. Now we don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know. How do you think that would? And I also wonder too if adding in another component would kill people more than what we need to. Again, if everybody had a perfect diet and sleep and recovery routine and whatnot, then I could see adding in a third component. But it almost seems like what we're doing now is like just the right amount to try to recover from. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think, there are very few of us who are solely focused, I guess you could even say now, on weightlifting. Whether that be like, all right, you have a demanding job and school and all this, or like a baby, or triathlon, or running. Like, a lot of people have been running as well. So I think I do feel like what we're doing is very effective already. I do think that if anyone wanted more, they would figure out a way to do more.
Yeah.
Or if they felt like they needed more, that would happen. I don't think that anyone who's like leaving and thinking like, man, we probably could have done a little bit more here, and then doesn't find a way to do it themselves, either by doing their own thing or asking you for more.
Yeah. And right now there's only one person doing day 4. The one
Right.
person who's been doing day 4 diligently has been Jennifer. I think that's a good thing. Like, not only does the programming now have time to breathe within the session on its own, and we could maybe just put more focus and effort into those things. All right, we're going to snatch. Put all your focus into that because you don't have to worry about the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And like for you, maybe you're snatching and you're realizing it's not the best snatch shoulder day. Now it's in the back of your head, I'm going to hate clean and jerking here in about 20 minutes. And then the squats, you can really push it on the squats because there's nothing after it too, so it's I'm sure it'll change eventually in the future, like all these things do, but right now it's working out really, really well. And I think we're seeing good results, and I think it'll have us ready for where we need to be for the regional. And we'll see after that. We will go into an off season. Because remember, I said last year that I wanted to do two off seasons. One after states, one before states, where again we have time to like mentally breathe a little bit and focus on other things. So I kind of have a soft list growing right now of the things that we can work on this one, like kind of like more upper body. Like we always go hard on the lower body, but like during regular training, it kind of the upper body takes a back seat. So We'll do
Yeah.
more upper body and also like unilateral upper body, things like that. We'll do single leg stuff for the legs. We will do some high volume things, and having everybody max out on front squats and back squats for max reps. That was my way of being when I do prescribe sets of 10. You've done 25.
Yeah.
So it's like do you see the checkmate on the like? Because imagine a year ago if I said we were going to do sets of 10, the revolt in the room,
Yeah.
like everybody would lose their minds. But now we just did that, those max sets, and it's like, well, hey, we're doing sets of 10 with less than what you did for 25, and
Mhm.
you could do it, and look, you lived. So I do think one thing we're missing kind of in the programming is volume squatting, a
Yeah.
little bit, at lighter to medium loads, just for muscle development and tendons and all those things, and a little bit of conditioning. You guys have gotten better at about revolting against the conditioning type things. I just have to be really sneaky about how we do it. Like with
Yeah.
do the squats, then do some jumps and stuff like that, which the conditioning wasn't the biggest focus of that. It was just a happy byproduct,
Yeah.
but we don't want to be out of shape from being weightlifters. This is a big pet peeve of mine in like the space. And like,
Yeah.
do you see when people kind of make this mistake where like they'll switch from CrossFit to weightlifting and their lifts and stuff will go out, but like they get terribly out of shape and unhealthy?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think you have to, I think, yeah, it's easy to just switch to like, I'm focusing on strength, and, you let your body adjust in the way that's easiest first. And I mean, like, if you're squatting a bunch and you want those to feel easier, if you want clean and jerks to feel easier, like, you put on some weight and you're kind of just like, good, the weight is starting to feel a little bit easier for me to move. And then, yeah, you just kind of forget the other things. I mean, part of it is, I guess, also the programming of like, you simply aren't even doing the same warm-ups that you would for CrossFit. So you're kind of just going along, and you are working hard and intensely, but in a different way that you kind of, yeah, you just forget that there's so much more that you could be doing. And there's an easier way to mix it into the weightlifting as well.
Yeah. And you could even forget or start to neglect the nutrition part of it. And
Yeah.
that's when it really catches you. And it's like, I don't, there's, I don't think everywhere, on and everybody, but there are certainly people in the space that they're like, well, weightlifting, it's either okay or expected to be unhealthy. And it's like,
Mhm.
but for who? Like, all right, at the highest levels, I don't think that they're that unhealthy. I think that like if you're going to be like a Ferrari of an athlete lifting weights, you probably are eating well to support that, or just eating to support that. But you're not like all of a sudden switching to like just lifting and then you're going to go drinking all the time and you're going to
Yeah.
start eating all the junk food that you weren't eating because it was like taboo in CrossFit and stuff like that. And now you put on like 25 pounds and it's like, whoa, what happened? Like, this is not, you could still be strong and probably have put on 10 pounds and
Yeah.
be competitive and stuff. But like now you're literally, your this activity that you're doing has caused you to be unhealthy and
Yeah.
to impact that negatively. And it's like, I don't think you need to do that. And if people are unhealthy at the top level, you're not them. Like, wait, what happened? Like you're like you've got kids, you've got this job. Like, why are you trying to live that lifestyle where you should just be like, all right, I'm gonna be healthy, feel good, live a long time, and be strong. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
have all those things. But I've definitely seen people go down like weird rabbit holes with it where they're like, oh, that guy that I idolize, he's unhealthy, guess I will be too. And it's like, I don't know
Mhm.
about that, because also he is like, or she might be like an outlier, genetic outlier and stuff like that.
Right.
They can smoke packs of cigarettes every day and do all this stuff. That doesn't mean you can, yeah, I don't know. I've never felt that compulsion to follow people like that. Like, have you ever done that before, where you're like, I'm gonna live like this star or this person that I idolize, and start to adopt their health and lifestyle habits, and whether it's a detriment to yours or not?
No, I guess there's like, yeah, I guess you do kind of, when you're newer to something, I guess you kind of model after like, what do the people in this space do? Um, I think purely out of necessity though. Like, I mean, for me, like triathlon training is like, all right, how are you guys? So yeah, that's a good point, because I see like, okay, I've been like bulking this winter, and I'm like, all right, the amount that I'm fueling, I started to cut down, and I'm like, I think I'm at enough, but I think when I start to add in these longer, like a bike or a run and swim like on the same day, I think the amount that I'm taking in is correct. I just think I have to time it better or be more effective with my choices at different times. So I've like done things like that. I don't think I've ever even like looked at what weightlifters eat ever. I feel like that's not something that they advertise as much. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, like some of them do have like full on nutritionists and are like very strict about those things. But no, I guess I've never, outside of necessity, to like find a hack here or there. Like, and even so, like I don't change really what I'm doing. I just go like, okay, I'm on the right track here. Maybe cut down a little bit on this here, but yeah,
Yeah, and there's like different examples, from like different, yeah, and like CrossFit's like not innocent on this either. Like, I remember back when all of a sudden everybody discovered, oh, Rich Froning's eating a jar of peanut butter every day and stuff like that, and it's like, well, hold on, you shouldn't do that too.
right,
That's not gonna give you the edge. You're gonna gain a lot of weight doing that. Like, because remember, he also works out 4 6 times a day, or
right,
like when people were like, like I don't know. This is like maybe a whole other discussion on like the ethics of it. You're a motivational athlete in the space. A lot of people look up to and adore you and want to be like you, and then you're promoting this product that is only going to lead the vast majority of them to failure instead of success.
right,
I know there's the whole crumble cookie thing like years ago, where it's like, okay, I think it was Danny Spiegel, or Daniel Brandon, one of the two. She can eat those. She can. Doesn't mean that it's not negatively affecting her health, but like,
right,
she looks the way she wants to look. She wears the clothes she wants to. She performs the way that she is based on her training and her diet and stuff, and her effort. But like, when she's putting it out there, yeah, guys, use my code, stuff like that, and then maybe you want to support her and stuff, but then you eat those crumble cookies. Like, if I eat those crumble cookies to support Danny Spiegel, it's going to do negative things for me. I shouldn't eat
right.
it. It's poison. So that's like a whole nother thing of like athletes promoting products and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
not being like, hey, guys, I eat these. I work out 7 times a day. I track all my other stuff. Here are my macros. I make it fit. If you ain't doing that, don't eat the cookies. But then of course the sponsor is going to be like, don't tell them not to eat the cookies. Like it's just like, like Coca-Cola is just like, yeah, no. You can drink our product and just work out more and it'll all be fine. And it's like, no,
right.
that's not how this works.
Yeah. And I mean, on the other end as well, of like people taking supplements and acting like, man, I wouldn't have been able to even train today if I didn't take this specific brand of supplements. And it's like, that's not how that
Oh
works.
gosh.
Like, not everyone
Yeah.
needs this uh, specific gel to get through a run. Not everyone needs this energy drink to get through whatever, or these greens. Like, everybody is obsessed with like reds and greens, and like, that's how I get through everything. I dump this powder into something at every meal, or, you know. So yeah, it works on all ends, where it's like, yeah, each person has to have their own discernment of like, sure, if you want to try something, if you feel like you are missing something and you want to try something, sure, try it and then see if it actually does anything or something
Yeah.
before you go and like buy it in bulk. And now you're like, well, I'm stuck with it and a
Yeah.
few $100 down. So
The amount of supplements I've thrown away over the
yeah,
last 20 years. And it's like the supplement's the biggest thing. It's like it's in the name, it's in the word supplement. Like if you're taking it, what is it supplementing? And it should be something that's stacked on top to finish off instead of a foundation. But
yeah,
people do it the wrong way, and it's like they don't even realize, like, oh yeah, I bought supplements today. It's going to help me, with my diet and all this other stuff. It's like, wait, you bought like you bought training wheels, or you bought like an accessory, an add-on. Like all right. I guess it's like buying like things for a video game, but you don't own the actual game. You
right.
just own
Yeah.
the like little add-ons and stuff like that, and they're in your like inventory of your Xbox store. I don't even know if there's an Xbox, whatever it is, right? You bought those
Mhm.
things because I bet you can buy them independently. Those are supplements for the main thing, the game,
Yeah.
but you don't own the game, so you can't really even use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me talk about for a second about Fit Aid. No, I'm start selling Fit Aid right now. But yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't even know how we got here. I don't know where we
Yeah, I
started
guess
off.
just like modeling after athletes, or yeah, the like overall fitness or lack thereof of weightlifters sometimes.
Yeah. And we're gonna do sets of 10 soon. There we go.
Yeah.
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 And there can't be any complaining now, because it's I've been sneaking it in the warm-ups, first set, 10. Look, you can do it. Now we just did max with really heavy weights. We're not doing that again this coming week, but boy, was I tempted to, just because it's for funsies. But we're not
Yeah,
gonna
I
do that
think you
again.
gotta have people forget a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I mean,
And
by Wednesday, the fear of like, I know what that did to me on Monday was definitely in people's heads.
yeah, good, good. But yeah, like so. But see, we are tapering because now we're not. We're removing
Yeah.
things. We're moving things. Anyways, what's going on in the weightlifting world, Miguel? That's what's happening at our local level.
Yep.
Region is coming up, and the team is training, whether they like it or not. They're training. Um, what's going on at the international level?
So I guess biggest thing, I don't know. I think the last time we talked about it, they were still figuring out the Olympic spots. I think they changed them again. Um,
The weight classes?
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um, I won't go through them again just because it's, I mean, by now, like if you care, you probably know. And there
yeah.
wasn't too much shaking up. Um, but I think the biggest thing is the qualification now for the LA Olympics.
Mm.
Um, so I think the biggest change is that they're kind of back to almost like a Roby score. So now, so last qualifying period, it was you just have to get the top 10 like best total. So people were going for their best totals at every single meet, like trying to PR with,
Mm.
trying to open with weights that would be like PRs to try
A
to
lot
get
of
within
bomb
that top
outs.
10. Yeah, a lot of bomb outs. Um, a lot of stress on people, like you could tell at each event. So this time, I think it's their top 5 best performances at these like qualification style events throughout the quad. Um, so they're getting like the average. I think I'm just saying that in easier terms. I'm sure they're doing with like some math, but like they're taking the average 5 of each lifter and kind of using that to rank athletes.
Is it their
Um,
Q points?
yes. maybe that's what it's called now.
Yeah, we'll be using it at the regional and then using it at states too. It's called a Q point, and it's kind of taking over Sinclair. Like we used to have first, we had like the Sinclair coefficient, then they did do the Roby, and then they got rid of the Roby or went back to Sinclair, and then at least what we've been doing. And now we have a thing called Q points, and it's just I think it's just another formula to figure out all
Right.
that stuff.
Yeah. So within that, something that they did change as well, each country was only allotted 3 spots for women, 3 spots for men. They added in an additional, so let's say the United States last quad, where they had, I think, 5 or 6 women who were in the top 10s in their category, but they kind of capped out and could only send 3. Now, if your country has, after they do like the Q points at the end of everything, and you have the best female lifter across the qualification process, you get an added spot. So you can possibly have 4.
Wow.
But
In
the
in a
rule,
repeating weight class?
no. Yeah. So it would have to be a separate weight class. So like, let's say Olivia Reeves at the end of the qualifying process is the best female lifter. And then, we get Mary and maybe one of the lighter lifters. And, so they're 3. And then let's say Maddie Rogers qualifies and she's like ranked 10 or 9 within the 77s or something. Now she can actually go because we get that 4th spot.
Okay. So it doesn't I mean, I guess it just it no, there's no way it wipes out someone. Like it just adds someone in. There's no
It just
detriment
adds someone.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
and then same thing for the men. So it can be different countries for each one. Um, just thinking about the Philippines. Is it Philippines? Yes. Where this is a little bit different because they were in the same weight category, but they had 2 lifters who were ranked number 1 and number 2 essentially throughout the entire quad. They were in the same weight category, so it wouldn't have helped then. But now, because of the weight class changes, the country has split them. Let's say they fill up those spots and they have their best overall lifter on the men's side, they can now add somebody else in. So I'm not sure. It depending on the country who gets the best lifter, it might not matter unless it's like North Korea or someone who has that many top athletes. On the men's side, like let's say Carlos Nassar gets the best male lifter, I don't think that they have more than 3 like top 10 males, so they might not need that extra spot. But it's an interesting thing that I don't know if countries are going to push for to maybe get more medals, or it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out.
I think it's really cool. I think one less heartbreak potentially if your
Right.
country earns it. Like, well, like we kind of have 5 all-stars and we're only taking 3, and the other 2, good luck next time or never,
Yeah.
That is interesting. So it's going to happen per weight class. So if you have the best 60 kilo in the world,
No.
oh, it's overall.
It's just overall. Yeah. So I think
So
that's where
you
like
have to have the
point.
greatest weightlifter, the greatest female
Yeah.
weightlifter, and the greatest male. Oh, so only one country gets this benefit.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, that
potentially
rewards
2, men and women. Yeah.
Yeah. That rewards excellence, I guess.
Yeah.
Do we have a
Yeah.
shot with Olivia on for the women?
Potentially. I think that's why I think the new qualification process is also interesting, because not many people did this, but with the previous qualifying, if you had the best total, like a world record total at the first qualifying event, you really just had to go and weigh in to the remaining like required events. You didn't have to post a total at all because you already had the best total early on.
Yeah.
But now that it's across 5 different events, you kind of have to give a lot each time, which a lot of athletes did, but I think it'll make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know if that means
Yeah.
people will be less risks or taking a little bit more because they can kind of do that slate later, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think Olivia does have a shot. Now that North Korea is back in for like potentially qualifying, it'll be close, I believe.
Hmm. There are. I'm surprised that they're our biggest competitor within that. I would have thought China, or maybe Colombia or Venezuela, because I know they got some good athletes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're always going to be it just in those lighter weight classes. North Korea is
Oh yeah.
just so dominant. Like, I think other countries are better spread across. I think North Korea is basically done after 69. After the 69 category, I think they don't really have many athletes that are bigger than that.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, they really dominate those lighter categories. So we'll have to see again how those Q points kind of work out.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I imagine, you get your country an extra spot. Like
Yeah,
that's like, yeah, and like you're like, all right, for this quad, I was the best, and then it's cherry. I'm not cherry on top, but like then you go and win the Olympics and whatnot. But it's like you kind of like won something already. Like you were, yeah,
yeah,
better than all the weight classes, and then I got, put the team on my back and got an extra person in here. Who
yeah,
who on
for
the
sure.
men's side are the biggest front runners? Bulgaria?
So after the Olympics, I think the person with the best like Sinclair total was Rizky Chinyancia
Mhm.
from the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
Um, he was the 73. And then I think Carlos was close behind him in the 89s. Um, so I think again it'll probably be similar where it'll likely be those two, depending on how these new weight classes shake out. But there are a lot of different options. I think the men are a little bit it could shake out differently depending on how things go.
Yeah, I mean, we have it's so weird that like we haven't even implemented the new weight class, like the new weight
No.
classes yet.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen until I think August. So
Hmm.
that is weird. Hmm. But I imagine most of those people are already there or on their way there and competing now. Right?
It depends. There are shakeups in the different. So yeah, that kind of brings me to the next point of European Championships is next week, starts next Sunday. Um, some of the classes haven't changed, but as you get into some of the other weight classes, they start to become a little bit more split. Um, so that like middle ground, let me see for the men. So yeah, they have 71, 79, 88, 94. Those weight classes change to 70, 75, 85, 95. Um, so yeah, they're a little bit weird now.
I guess you
So
could be in the 94 and you're cool. Like you're good with it.
right, yeah,
Like if you
but
weigh
people have kind
94 or
of
93.5 or something like that.
yeah. So like I said, with the Philippines, they kind of split those athletes that were ranked number 1 and 2 in those like 73-ish, I think was the category before. So one is going 75, one is going 85, because those are the Olympic categories. So someone's putting on a lot of weight, someone's going to be right around the same that they've always been sitting at. Um, the interesting thing now with like European championships coming up and then Pan Ams is that for those weight classes that are changing, this is your opportunity to kind of cement a world record. in a category that's going to be gone soon.
Mhm.
So a lot of people are kind of doing their last effort at these categories to kind of solidify, like, all right, I'm in the record books, and then it's gone. So nobody can beat this. Or like, you only have one more meet to beat this. So that's something that's interesting that's coming up as well.
It's fun. It's funny. Everybody's doing that at every level. I'm like, even like
Yeah.
personally, it's like, all right, this will be my last meet at this weight class. Then I'm going to move on to this one, and the state
Yeah.
records, even, which I think what we'll end up doing is 60-kilo weight class isn't changing, record stays, but like
Yeah.
the whatever next one that is changing, all right, the weight class above it, that's the new record standard, like kind of like what we did last time. But yeah, are they gonna, is there any word on like how they'll handle that? Like, if a weight class isn't changing, are they going to keep those records, or just full reflip whatever the current record is the record standard, or something like that?
I believe that they're keeping them.
Keeping them, okay. Yeah,
I could
that
be
makes
wrong
sense.
about that. Yeah.
Because like, how much would that suck? Like, let's say you had the American record for the 60-kilo weight class, and they're like, all right, it didn't change, but we're just gonna erase Miguel's name, keep the lifts,
And make
and
it the
just put
standard.
in
Yeah.
the standard. So then you got to go beat your own old record or something.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I did see for I saw Tim Luistro posted that he was looking for tickets for LA, and everything said unavailable right now. Like, on his Instagram story, are they not selling tickets yet? I kind of feel like they probably
I've
are now,
seen
right?
people get tickets. They may have gone on sale and then sold out.
Wow, yeah, it's gonna be hard to get tickets.
Because what I did was I entered a sweepstakes. I thought it was like you're entering these sweepstakes to get like free tickets to go. No, the sweepstakes that I entered was like you get into like essentially a pre-sale with no money off of your tickets, just like you can be one of the first people to look at tickets.
Just to look at them.
Yeah, they're incredibly expensive and all of that as well. So
What
I
is
think
some
it makes sense to
prices you
say,
remember?
oh, they're like in the thousands to just see like one thing. Like this number of whatever, like
one session. Not like
Yeah,
a pass. Go to track and field,
No.
go to weightlifting. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How do people afford, like, how are there people in the stands? Like, who are all these people that have this money, and then who go to because it's not just the ticket. I bet an Airbnb or a hotel are probably insane, unless the city's going to put in some kind of like a legislature where, like, all right, you can't price gouge, like it's not. But like, I was even looking at a thing for like Coachella, like the music festival, and it showed like, all right, you can pay $40,000 for this Airbnb that's like an hour away and stuff like that. Like, that's insane. Like, one, how do people have this money? Two, who are these people and where are they, like, all the time? Do we know any of them?
Well, that's the thing. There are so many rich people that you just don't know and will never know about. Like, I assume that a lot of these people are like, every now and then it's like, these are people who are saving up and they're like, this is what I want to go see. But a lot of times it's like, this is just a rich family in that country, and they're in the stands, or like, maybe like countries like sponsor people to also be in the stands, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm
we've
trying.
seen it. Like, sometimes it's our athletes they don't even have money to get over there.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
last time, like when Flavor Flav sponsored the women's water polo team, because like for them, they're like, we're not rich enough to go, like, to get our travel and everything. Like, that's not cheap at all.
That's crazy that U.S. water polo, or wait, what was it? Was it water polo?
Yeah, yeah.
That U.S. water polo doesn't have the money to, But then again, who's doing recreational water polo? What's the
Right.
membership look like for that? Like regular, unless they're like subsidized by like regular swimming, which has huge
Yeah, I
base.
doubt it.
But like, yeah, that does make sense. Well, thank you, Flavor Flav. And also,
Yeah.
let's talk about the Albany CrossFit Barbell Club. We need funding.
Yeah.
help us out. But yeah, it's crazy. I'm trying to think sporting wise, what would I pay $40,000 to go see that I wouldn't have? Like, what would I put myself in debt for? There's no event that I would want to go see. There's I don't know. Yeah, there's
Like I
nothing.
said, for a long time, that's why I wasn't doing concerts. Because if I can't afford to get a decent seat where I can see directly, I'm not going. I don't know if you follow any of like college basketball, like March Madness.
No.
People got into the final and like nosebleeds that you wouldn't even believe. But like those tickets were sold out. They probably paid a couple hundred to get like a view that is so much worse than watching it on TV. Like you literally wouldn't be able to hear anything. Like you wouldn't see anything. You just see like the lights of like that is the color of the court, and that's really it.
So it's just to say you were there. It's a story at
Yeah,
work the next day, kind of.
literally. There's like a meme where it's so far away from the court, and they're like, "But I got to say I was there," and you're
Yeah.
like, "Were you though?" That kind of seems like you're basically in a different building.
Well, I went to the U.S. Open many years ago, and we were in Arthur Ashe Stadium, and they were I think they were either free tickets or I won them in a raffle or something. And but we were all like the seats that we were all the way up at. You don't realize how steep that stadium
Right.
is. Like if you started to fall down the stair, like it's like a little mini mountain. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's tennis happening down there. I'm pretty. I can hear the ball, but like it's definitely such a different experience to what I'm having. Just like sitting there and being like, well, great. There's a blue square down there versus the people that are actually down there and they can see the ball and hear the players. And I'm pretty sure those tickets that I had would have been a couple $100,
Yeah.
even still. Yeah,
And
it's
it depends on the
crazy.
sport. Like weightlifting is one thing because at least you get to focus on one person on the stage. But when things are moving and things are moving fast, and I mean, tennis is one thing because that's obviously very fast, but at least there are only two people.
Yeah.
Like if there's 11 on 11 and you're like, I don't know anything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey,
But it's definitely worth it for some people.
People attack CrossFit a lot on like, there's no like counter that tell you where they're going and whatnot. And like, so people like give CrossFit like flack about that stuff. And it's like, but yet you'll go to a football game and be covered in snow and not be able to see the ball or know anything and no complaints.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best one. The people that are at the game watching it also on their phone so that they know what's happening. That's crazy. That'd be like me going to the concert I just went to last weekend, but I also have a YouTube concert here on mute because I can't see the stage, so I can hear it and I'm going to watch it here. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I would just move. I was in a little orchestra box, and the people that bought those other seats never came, or they upgraded because they emailed us being like, "Hey, for $300." I was like, "No." So those people either upgraded or didn't come. So I had 3 seats, and before I got there first, so I had already pushed their seats away from mine, so I would have a little more because they were movable. So I reorganized the orchestra box so I would have a little more room and wouldn't have to be too close to them. Then they never came. So I moved down to the end and I had a much better view because I was up against the wall. And I was like, I like that because I could put my hand on the railing and spread out. So I moved down there, and then several people came and like snuck into the box throughout the concert, and then they didn't like the line of sight that I had, so then they ended up leaving. But yeah, people were just rotating through. I had so many people hovering around me that were like leaning on the back, and like you could tell they were thinking about, should I just hop over there? And I would have been fine with all of it. But they also didn't know if like I was with people and those people just weren't there right now. So you could see people sharking out like different spots.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the move at like one of those big sporting. I think people do that, right? Like in baseball, after a certain amount of innings, people will move down to the seats that have been empty for a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
those ones are a little bit clearer.
I
think it's harder at concerts. I've seen people strict at concerts where like whoever the usher is like, nope, you didn't. That's like, because someone will be like VIP in like, if yours says general admission or something, you're like, you can't even walk in there or something like that. But
I could see VIP, but I don't know. I feel like if I was an usher, I'd be like, is this what I want to be doing right now? You know, I'd be watching the show. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be, oh crap, I gotta do stuff. But I feel like at a baseball game, I'd be like, it's the 5 innings in or 3 innings in, I'd be like, move down. You know, let's bring the energy down here.
That you're just like, yeah, go wherever you want. Just don't bother people.
Yeah. Well, there's the problem too. You know, you get someone who bought those expensive seats to be away from people who might be rowdy, and then now they come down in your space. But yeah, interesting. Maybe one day there'll be, when you go to a football game or the Olympics, you get a VR headset, and it puts, even though you're in your seat up in the nosebleeds, it seats you in a virtual seat down low, and you're watching the game. Yeah. I hate it. Yeah. I feel like you do too, but it's coming, and you'll have to pay for it. Now your $80 seat, if you can do an add-on of $350, now you can get that VR headset and you're down low, and people will do it. And you get the commentary right in your thing. Boy. You know, if they haven't thought of that yet, I want give me royalties. I just thought of that. That it's literally like $1 billion idea across the sports thing. Oh my God, we should get on this right now. Like delete this podcast. We gotta figure this out, Miguel. We gotta figure this out. Because all you need to do is create the technology and then license it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have anything like that, right?
I mean, now you get into the weeds of like, who owns that? Is it the ticket seller? Is it the venue? Is it because like things like the NBA are like tight on their broadcasting.
Yeah.
So like, who would own that share and how would they share it? I guess is the thing.
Oh my God. And then when you buy a special NFL package or something, you can get one for home. Now that's even more crazy. You're sitting in your living room. Your kids and dogs are all over the place and whatnot, and you got a headset on and you're at the game. Boy, it's coming. It is coming.
Yeah, it might be.
And then like the players will have specific obligations to like go to like the virtual seat or whatever and do a little fist bump. And if you put your hand out there, it's like they fist bumped you.
Right.
It's all going to happen. That's going to happen. Boy. And it's going to cost a lot of money that I won't be spending. So,
right.
I say that now that I'm all decked out and like things where like I'm like you get to be the mascot at the basketball game. If you pay $10,000, you get to be the virtual mascot. Oh boy. All right. Anyways, back to weightlifting.
Yeah, I guess last thing is the USA training camp that they did like last week.
Saw some of that. That was cool.
It seemed like this was one of the biggest ones that they've done in a while.
Yeah. Where are they doing? Is that in Colorado Springs?
I think so. Yeah.
So that's at the Olympic Training Center.
I think, yes.
Okay. It's interesting because like we used to have a residency at the Olympic Training Center, where people would live in the dorms and train there under the
Yeah.
national coach. But now I guess it's just like maybe they're just doing camps where like they'll rent out, you'll live there for a week or two. How long was it?
I think it was just a week. Let me see. Yeah, it seemed to be just a week. But we've talked about this before where it's like I almost thought that it was a choice, like they invited a bunch of people and people kind of chose to go or not go, but it seems like they haven't been inviting that many people. Like Maddie Rogers posted that this was like her first time being invited in like 8 years. And I was
That
like,
seems really weird.
yeah, because we've talked about it before, and I was like, yeah, why is she not going to these camps? Like, it probably helps to like get funding and all these things, like if you go. But yeah, it seems like they haven't been inviting her.
Wow.
But this one seemed big. It seemed like all of the names that we'll be seeing on the team were invited, and seemed like everyone accepted. So yeah.
That's cool. And it's good too. Like I saw some of like the memes where Mary was like randomly hugging my teammates to see how they react
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And like they have like so they have like a bunch of memes that they're doing because they must have a lot of downtime too, where they're like, all right, what are we gonna do? But I think it's good that they're bonding, you know,
Right.
and getting to know one another. That way it's one less thing removed when they do go to another country and like they're friends and they're happy to see each other. Like it does kind of feel like we were missing that for a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, it seemed like they just did like covering all their bases as well of like, all right, we're going to this doctor, we're going to I think they even did like collegists in all those things. As well as like all a part of their day, like blood work, all of these things to like get their base on these athletes. And then yeah, people hit like pretty heavy numbers as well. They have Pan Ams in I think 2 weeks now.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Pan Am's is always something I kind of lose track of. I'm like, when does that happen? You know, like
Right. Yeah.
Worlds is normally in like the fallish. But I guess that yeah, it makes sense to like late spring or spring, early
Right.
summer is when Pan Am's is. Yeah, and I can just imagine USADA's there, just like, all right, got
Right.
you all here in one. Like USADA's definitely got to be taking advantage of that. I'm like, whoa, all
Oh
right,
yeah.
we don't got to travel all around the country to find these people. We'll just every day you're getting tested.
Yeah.
That I feel like that would. I mean, I feel like the blood drawing would take a lot out of me if like several times in a week they're drawing blood or something like that. I'd
Right.
be like, oh, I don't know, because I never feel good after it's done, and I already hate needles, so there's like a certain amount of stress with that. So just to have that happen like multiple times, like I don't know how many times they are tested, you know, in a camp like this or something,
Right.
but like that'd be tough. I just
Yeah.
wouldn't like it.
I'm sure they mix it up of like what they take each time. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, or someone having to watch you pee or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
this that the not so fun parts of being a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Do CrossFitters have to do that?
Yeah.
I don't even know what their
It's the
testing
same
protocol
thing.
looks like.
They
Same thing?
essentially I don't know if they nobody leaves the floor after the after it's like announced, and then they like pull people from there. So like you have
Okay.
to stay like similar to like my situation where it was like, all right, we found out you're going to be on the podium, stay here, this is your person. You can't leave without them. Like they're stuck to you and then you have to go straight there. Then like I think they do their press conference stuff like after they give the samples and all that.
Just had an image in my head of like you running back to your bag and that guy Wait a minute,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
chasing after you like you're trying to get away. You're like, no, I just had to go get my keys or something like that. That what an interesting job, the athlete chaperone. You have to
Yeah.
keep your eyes on and make sure nothing crazy happens. Which really, it's just to make sure you don't leave, right? Like,
Yeah. It's just you can't leave that place at all.
yeah, because like there's nothing you
So at
could
least like,
do that would skew it, you
right.
know.
And like they're not necessarily the bad guys because they just have to stay there. Like they don't have to tell you anything. They don't care what your results are.
Yeah,
They're just like, yeah, you can't leave.
yeah. Which at something like the Arnold, I definitely do think that's important because like if you're testing athletes that aren't tested regularly, you know, they might forget, you know, and like all right,
Yeah.
it's like because look at the amount of time you had to wait. It was a significant amount of time. It wasn't like you guys just went right back there because they kept pushing the medal ceremony back and back.
Yeah.
And so like I could easily see like, well, all right, let me go run out to my car real quick. Let me go grab a bite to eat. I'll come back. And they're like, we lost you and you missed the test. Now you're in trouble, you know? So I can definitely see how that would be a pain in the butt. But yeah, the athlete camps are cool. And that's also when they bust out some technology. Like I've seen some of the videos, they'll have the little disc on the end of the bar to show the velocity. I would love to be able to do that. I think those discs are pretty expensive though, if I had to guess.
Yeah. I've been following some track and field athletes as well, and they like go to like a specific place, and they have like people who essentially are like developing the technology, like those people. Some are like private, some will get, I guess, contracts with someone like USAW or track and field and stuff like that. But it seems like a lot of them are essentially paying for it by filming and like putting it on their YouTube channels or like Instagrams, because it seems like those to do that is very expensive.
Yeah. It's awesome technology. It's actually surprising that it hasn't broken through yet more on the mainstream. I think you can get some mainstream things now, but I remember back in 2011 at Cutting Edge Sports Sciences, the guy there had like a unit that he was like beta testing for someone. And so like, and I'm sure years before that they were working on it. So it just kind of seems like it's taking longer. And I don't know if that's just because they also have to do studies, figure out if it's actually worth it. But like 20, it's like, yeah, we're over 10 years. Yeah, we're like 15 years in. At some point, maybe it's just never meant to be mainstream. I mean, because there are sports technologies that aren't mainstream. I remember when I was in college in biomechanics classes, we had to use a program called Dartfish, where you would like have someone run across the screen, and then you could measure their strides and then time it and figure out their velocities and all that stuff. And and then you'd be able to be like, all right, look, your shoulders up here, it needs to be, you know, you could do all that stuff. But that hasn't really gotten mainstream outside of like apps like Coach's Eye. But I also feel like people don't use does anyone talk about using Coach's Eye at all? Or
I think
it was
all those
popular
things
for a
kind of
little
like
bit.
get a big spark. I even have there's an app called Weightlifting Analysis where it would kind of measure the like arc and stuff, and maybe like, but then all those apps have like their, oh, here's the premium, here's the free version, here's this. And then I think people are just weighing their options. And I think it's one of those things where the price doesn't really go down. So people are like, I'll just do without it, like everyone has done before.
Yeah, I'll just, how about, I'll watch the lift. Yeah.
Right.
And I'll film it. And actually, you know what kills it? It's just the slow-mo scroll on your phone.
Yeah.
Like that almost kills the entire thing. Because if you film a lift and you just want to watch it again, you can slow it down, you know. And then some coaches will do this. What if I watch it from this angle and I tilt? Oh, there we go. I never really understand that either. Like I'm like, I actually, if I try to do this, I'm like, well, Miguel is like upside down. Like I don't. Oh, there we go. Now I'm watching it like a human being. Now that makes sense. So yeah, it's I don't know. maybe it's just not meant to be a mainstream thing. Maybe it's just like
Right.
it's going to be an expensive, extremely niche thing that they'll use across a couple similar sports like throwing,
Yeah.
and weightlifting and stuff like that. And but if it if it was going to give an edge, everybody would have it right now. Like it'd be
Yeah.
on my phone. Like if it was something that would totally like change the game and like all you guys would be killing it, whatnot, we'd be using it. Like because the other teams would be using it and we would be
Yeah.
known. So I kind of feel like that's just can't be the market that they're going for.
Yeah. It's just got to be like a cool thing to measure. So like next year's camp, they'll look again and go like, oh, your snatch either got faster from like your third pull or whatever. Your squat speed at this weight is a little bit faster than it was last year when we did the same weight. Maybe things like that. But yeah, that's definitely not like a normal training session type of deal.
And even then, how does it account for the variables? Like, all right, last year at the camp when you snatched that weight, you had great sleep, all that stuff. This year you had rough travel coming in and you were jet lagged and you didn't sleep too well and then you had a shitty session. Like I don't know how reliable is the data then?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think that you got to stick to like force, I guess, and be like your force production is this. But yeah, again,
so something that would be measurable from the training, like all right, you've been doing a lot of squats and this is what's going on there. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, so yeah, the camp's going well. I'm seeing a lot in the news on the enhanced games. More. I've seen a couple more prominent American weightlifters have joined that. Dozer weightlifting. I forget his name.
Yeah, Dylan.
Dylan. All right. He kind of looks a little bit like Dallin Pepper, like maybe a little bit. Yeah. So like I wanted to say his name was Dallin, but Dylan. So it's interesting. It's starting to pick up speed. I don't know when they're actually going to have this event because it's not just weightlifting; it's multiple sports, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some old school high level weightlifting coaches that are also involved in this too. Like I saw Ivan Rojas is the team or like the team lead and whatnot. And like that guy has some Olympians under his belt. I don't know if he was banned at one point from weightlifting or if he's just doing it now that he's retired. It does seem like a lot of people are doing it now that they're retired. And I was thinking about this. What's the big deal? Like, all right, you're retired. You're not going back into the regular population. You were clean. Now you just want to see what you can do because there's been this mythological discussion on like the whole time when you were lifting in your prime that everyone else is cheating against you. And it is an interesting thing on like, I feel like the majority of the people that like follow weightlifting, it's like, all right, there's a good likelihood that the lifters you are watching that are supposed to be clean aren't already, or you deify past lifters that were taking, but you're cool with them because they're historical figures now. But now we're going to get on Wes Kitt's case because he's finding another way to make money for his family. And I do remember talking to him when he was at here, and like a big part of his issue was he's got to find a way to make a living. He's got multiple kids and a wife and all these things, and you kind of see that he's maximizing his brand. He has a gym that he actually coaches at, and now he's doing this. And if they wanted him to train full time, he needs to be a way he could pay his bills. So I do understand that part of it too. So it's just funny how like he was the American hero, and now like some people are like mad at him for doing this. Yet you might be fine with the Bulgarian hero who was like you could see the drugs dripping out their ears,
Right. Yeah.
Or past lifters who have worked for Team USA that were on the sauce. So it's like, okay, you retired. It was known that you were this way, but now you can help Team USA. You can help us
Right.
out. Like that, doesn't it seem like there's like a weird double standard going on here?
Well, I think my only issue with it is when they first announced it, I think this is all just capitalism, right? Like,
Yeah.
because they were like, here, these billionaires are doing this thing. And then they kind of shaped it as like a, not like a, not in the like bad way, but like, you know, the movie Death Race and then like the Hunger Games and like
Yeah.
that way, where it's like, ooh, what if billionaires just want to see some cool stuff? But it's never that. Like,
It's like Squid Game. They got the mask
right.
on. And
But like that was kind of people's hopes, I guess, of like, oh, this can be cool. Like they just want to see like how far humans can go, right? Like I feel like
which
that
we
was the
all
idea.
do. Everyone secretly wants that.
Right.
Everybody wants to see the 600-pound clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Yet they don't want to accept what it would take to do it.
And I do think that everyone was okay with the idea initially, if it was going to be that, of just like, let's just see how far they can go. But what it turned into, they're just selling supplements.
Is that what it is? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah. Like if you
Aw.
saw Dylan's like announcement, it was just like, here's what I'm taking. Here's my link. You can type in this, because you wouldn't bring in someone like Dylan he's simply not good enough to hit any numbers that are worth watching, no matter what he's taking.
Yeah.
But he's a bigger name. He has a following. So now
Yeah.
you can use him to go
It's
like,
fu-
we'll get some sales because he'll be bringing in people.
It's funny the amount of people that would be super pissed with you for hearing that, but it's like they are just like
I
the
think,
fanboys. But it's like, did you not watch if I don't know if he is, but if all of a sudden someone like Ian Wilson was like, yeah, I'm in, I'm gonna do it. That guy
yeah,
is capable of hitting big weights, and so is Wes.
they
So is
did
Wes.
get, I think they got an athlete from Venezuela, and he's the closest. I think he was an 89. I don't know what he is now, if he's going as like 94 or 88. But they were like, he's the only one that when they do this, he has a chance of hitting a world record. Nobody else does. Like nobody else does. Because you didn't even get like the best of the best and are adding to it. You're just getting, like we said with like Wes, where it's like the reality is like these people are just looking to get paid because weightlifting itself in their country wasn't paying them enough. And it's cool that they're now getting the opportunity to get paid for these things. But
Yeah.
the reality is, yeah, the sport of the enhanced games is purely to sell their products now.
So they're not gonna do like enhanced track and field, like the because that's what I thought it was gonna be. Like
Yeah,
they'd have weightlifting, they'd have track and field, they had so they're not. But I've only ever
they
heard about
are.
weightlifting. They are,
But like
okay.
nobody also understands the structure. Like we don't know if they're going to run it like a weightlifting meet because they don't really have enough athletes.
Mhm.
So like we don't know if they're going to do like you get 3 attempts, or if they're just going to be like, time, we're going to give you this amount of time, go as heavy as you can. And then they also
Yeah.
have Thor in there as well, of like they put him in the weightlifting category, but I think he's just going for like the heaviest deadlift again or something like that.
Yeah.
But like again,
Well,
you just need the big names to be like, look at our
but
product.
there's a perfect example of what I was talking about before. If you run into the mountain, I love this guy. Look at him. Oh, he's the
Yeah.
greatest. Yeah, it's known that he's on stuff, and of course they don't make it too much of a secret in strongman. Although I think they are still drug tested. I saw actually I don't even know, because I saw that Mitchell Hooper guy made a video on like here's my stack that I'm taking. And those videos, all right, F you if you're making a video like that. That's like, what, again, we're going back to the crumble cookie. Why are you telling people that have no business taking any of this stuff and could seriously hurt themselves? And
That's
because
what
he's
all
gonna
the comments are filled
he's
with, though. People are like,
because
tell
he's
me
yeah
everything that you do.
because he's gonna monetize that video. And
Yeah.
given his past with like the whole thing with like him cheating on his wife, but then before that, attacking another strong man for cheating on their wife. Remember that whole thing? Like that guy, like what a unsavory character that guy is. So I'm not surprised that he's putting out his stack and not caring if some high school kid somehow gets a hold of all of it and follows it and hurts themselves. Um, as far as I can see, I don't think Wes Kitts is doing that, is he?
I'm not following his stuff too closely.
Okay, so
But no,
I would
mean,
have
because
I'd have a
Dylan's
problem with
videos
that.
were very in depth of like, here's what I'm taking, here's my blood work that I just got done, here's the progress or whatever. So I assume that Wes's page is similar. I know that he's putting up their like training videos of the enhanced games, and like Bodie came down from Canada. I think Dylan's at Wes's gym currently and they're training all together.
Mhm.
So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, they're putting up those codes and they're saying you can also do this.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that. It's I mean, there's tons of videos on steroids and stuff like that that you can
Yeah.
find. Like, so learning about it, I don't think is a bad thing. Selling the products, I think, is like a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't know that, and being like, this is the exact stack I follow. And also, I don't know if they do because again, I haven't watched the videos either. I'm being like, hey, I'm different than you. This stack is specifically designed for me. You shouldn't follow it. But it's the same thing. I'm like, hey, I work out a couple times a week. I'm a genetic freak. I'm already hot and fit.
Right.
I'm going to eat this crumble cookie. But if you want to lose 20 pounds and all this stuff, and you shouldn't eat the crumble cookie. Like
Yeah.
it's the same. It's the same thing at some
It's
point.
all those things where like you have to say, check with your doctor first, but you're like, I'm not going to check if you do. Like, I don't care if you do or not, but I'm going to say it because I have to.
Yeah. But like, so from the other perspective, like for Wes Kitts, you're retired. You're not in the game anymore. Get that money. I'm fine with you getting paid. Get that money, take care of your family, pay your bills. And also, if you want to decide, you know what? I don't want to go through the rest of my life sitting on the couch watching the Olympics and stuff, wondering, could I have done that? Like, I feel like I was pretty good and I had that next level in me, but just because of the rules, I couldn't. I just want to find out for myself. I mean, he could have done that in private and posted videos online. And there were plenty of weightlifters that used to have big YouTube channels. I don't know if they do anymore. They would never compete, but they put up enormous lifts. They would have made teams. They would have won every championship nationally,
like,
stuff like that.
Clarence Kennedy, is that his name?
Good example. And everyone loves him.
Yeah.
Everyone loves
him.
I
think it's because he stayed away from competition that people are like, that's fine then. But we know.
It should be.
You don't even have to say it, but we know.
And it should be okay because also it's none of your business. I'm lifting big. I'm putting it out there. It's I mean, if I'm putting a needle in my butt, what do you care? Why do you need to know? If you already know, then you know. Why do you need me to say it? But then if you go down like the Liver King route, when you're like, no, I'm not taking it, and selling your own brand and all this other stuff, then okay, then now that like there are definitely lines, and
I mean,
to the whole thing.
The big thing now is now that I'm into triathlons, but like ultra runners and stuff, the supplements that I take, Bear Performance, and like they're clean and all that because I mean I got tested on them, but like they do all that, but their owner, their CEO, Nick Bear, is like a jacked dude, and he like does ultra marathons and all this, and people are like, well, dude, you're clearly, with the amount of miles that you're running per week, you shouldn't be able to look like that still. And like that's the whole other controversy of like him and his athletes of like, all right, you're selling these supplements and you're making it seem like if we train like you and take those supplements, that will look like you, but like you're clearly taking more, is what people are saying. So yeah, I think in every space, that's the thing of like, all right, you're selling us this idea that like if we take the things that you take, we can get like you, but the reality is you might be doing a little bit more, or you know.
Is there ever going to be? I would just love to see it, and I wonder if it would be successful if you had a company that came out and they were just like, "Look, you're still not going to be good enough. We're just going to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But our supplements, they taste good. It's going to make you feel good. You're going to feel productive, but you still got a shitty diet because you won't work hard. Like one of the like that's the video. I'm like they're just like talking like real to you, um, and like almost insulting like they're
yeah,
the people that would be taking it, but they're like oh and like that'd be the brand name, not sugar coated or something like that, and it'd be like you're like hey, you're still gonna be fat after you take this. You're still gonna be
I feel like
so embarrassingly weak because you won't go to bed on time. But if it
yeah,
makes you feel good, we got you. It'll taste good. Like that. I just want like an honest thing. And you know what? I'd buy that one.
I do
I would
think
just
that Monster kind of leaned into that a little bit more, where they're like,
really.
all these other ones are acting like they're health things. Like we're just gonna, you want to be awake, then drink Monster. Like,
Oh, I love it.
yeah,
Like everyone else is telling you you're gonna get these vitamins and stuff. We're trying to kill you. We
yeah,
are.
genuinely,
Help us help you. Help all that stuff. Yeah, I think I like it. I like it when brands lean into stuff like that,
yeah,
or like when you see like the Twitter tweets of like McDonald's or bashing on Burger King or stuff. He's like,
mhm,
well, because your burger sucks or stuff. Like I like stuff. I like the real stuff like that, not the fake stuff.
yeah,
But so yeah, there's definitely lines to it. I haven't seen anything yet, but then again, I haven't like dug deep into it on like if West Kits is like selling supplements or stuff like that, or selling the drugs and things, which I don't know. I don't know if the others have kids, but he does. So
mm,
I wonder if that would be a little bit different for him.
right. Or like what the kind of, let me see quickly if I can see any links.
But it's like we met him. He seemed like a genuine enough person. What he was saying, his complaints were made sense from his. On it.
Yeah,
Um, if some
yeah,
rich billionaire came and is like, "Hey, I saw Miguel's lifts. I'm going to give him this much money if he does this thing and whatnot," and like, going to tell you not to get that money,
right. Yeah. Um,
especially if you do all the
yeah, no, it
paperwork and
seems
stuff.
like he's tagging enhanced games, but I don't see any like, yeah, I don't see any of the uh, any like codes for it like Dylan's, but I think because he was one of the original athletes, probably in his contracts he doesn't need to,
Hmm.
versus
Yeah.
like someone like Dylan who they're like, yeah,
Well,
if
and not
you're
only
gonna
that,
do this,
I feel like he's got room to like negotiate a little more, having been a
yeah,
multi-time Olympian and medalist, and be like, "Hey, I want to do this, but you kind of need me more than I need you," kind of a deal.
exactly,
So I don't want to do this. Um, yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, I can't fault him for doing things that are going to lead to financial security for his family. I would want to do the same, you know,
yeah.
especially if
I
I've
just
already
wish it was gonna
seen
be
one route out.
cooler.
Yeah, the execution of
Like
it
I
and
wish
stuff.
that they were like, as you're seeing their numbers go up, like I wish that they were close to what even like the top 10 athletes in each weight class were doing, but they're still getting crushed by those people.
Well, and it's also too, it's like they were clean athletes going on gear to get to the level, but those other guys have been on the gear that we don't want to talk about and stuff
Yeah.
potentially for a longer time. They're just better in the system, the navigating the clean system. Not saying all of them are, but maybe. And
Yeah.
all
And I mean, just like
and they might be trying to
some
do it
are,
a little bit safer too than when it was done years
yeah.
ago. Look at Pocket Hercules. Guy died like he's greatest weightlifter of all time. Died early 50s. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure drinking and stuff had an effect on that. But like such a small body, the amount of stuff they were probably pumping into that dude in Bulgaria, like the stories that I heard when Abajev came to work at California Strength, he's like, after a while, he's like, where's the stuff? And they're like, oh, we don't do that here. He's like, then why do this? Like he didn't
Yeah.
understand why train like this, why do this if you're not going to do the the scientific work on the side. So definitely different mindset. They're trying not to kill West Kits while also doing this too, because that would be a big
But I
deal.
mean, like, when he's taking all that stuff and like clean and jerking like 15 kilos more than Hampton Morris is clean and jerking, it's hard for me to tune in, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's also like he may have missed the boat on when.
That's the problem too, where it's like they're getting these athletes who are essentially like, I've done all I can with the sport. So now I'm going, but they're not catching people at their primes or like the young
Yeah.
athletes who it's like, give us 4 years with him and he'll put up crazy numbers with all this stuff. But yeah,
Yeah. And I do think there's a world where when he's done with this and he got paid and stuff, that he could come back as well and like be a part of USA weightlifting. I don't know. He's got strong opinions about it, it seems. But like if he was going to be coaching and stuff like that, he could. Like he's just got to. I don't even know if, because he's not banned. Like he retired, he filled out the paperwork, canceled the membership. I'm a free citizen. I'm out. So now I'm just a guy on the internet that you once knew. So I don't. I wonder if he will eventually come back because that'll be the next avenue of being able to be
yeah,
financially stable in the sport, and he won't have any shortage of people that will train with him and stuff like that as
right.
well. 'Cause he doesn't right now, so he won't then. So yeah, cool side quest for him, I guess,
Yeah,
to see. It might be a little bit too late, but who knows? Maybe he just needs that time to ramp up because it also hasn't been that much longer, and he might have just been getting back into training.
right.
So it'll be interesting.
What is the date? Well, it is coming up. It's May 24th that they're doing this. So
They actually have a competition
yeah,
for the. All right. I didn't even know they'd gone that far. I thought they were still just getting athletes. So for
yeah.
everything, like track it, I don't even know what sports they're doing. Like so for
It's in
all the
Las
sports.
Vegas. Yeah. That's the thing where they're like, all right, we'll see if they can beat the world records before like the weight classes change and everything again. But yeah, it's coming up quick, so
All
that's the
right.
thing. And also depending on how much money they make off of it, will they ever do a second one?
Yeah.
And you get a bonus if you break a world record, but if nobody's breaking a world record, how much are they getting paid otherwise? Because then if it blows up after and the thing is
Yeah.
done, then that's a lot of risk that you took, you know?
I kind of feel like it's gonna tank after this.
Yeah.
Like because if it doesn't become financially viable, you're not going to also attract more people to do it.
Right.
The thing is, the smart thing with Dylan and Wes and Canadian guy, but Bodie. I don't even know what other weightlifters they have, but the smart thing is they got in early and probably got paid a fat amount of money.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get paid a fat amount of money to go out there and all that stuff. Then it's going to tank and they'll leave and they're like, hey, yeah, like I got $15 million. What are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't do that. And then you go off, you clean all that stuff, and then you eventually come back to what you were doing before.
Right.
Um, I think that there's definitely levels to it, and I don't think some of these guys would be doing it and putting themselves out there, because like now it's just after that event a few weeks later, cue the YouTube video. Well, we tried that, team, and you know what?
My
It's
experience with the enhanced games, part 1
yeah,
of 70.
yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. And they're like, look, there are many things that it could have worked, but this is how. And then there's the videos like how I would fix it. Like you can already see it, and all of those videos are getting monetized. It's at like these guys are. I choose to believe that they're not just like mindless idiots doing this
Yeah.
for like a little bit of money. I think that they have multiple levels of 4D chess happening here on all the avenues that can go through.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. Good for them. Get paid to come back to weightlifting. We still love you. We've accepted so many people that have done worse. So cool. You found a couple millionaires that wanted to do something stupid. Fine. And yeah, it probably will be done after this. Yeah, you're right. Are they gonna televise it or?
I haven't looked too much into it, but I believe so. I'm sure it's probably a pay-per-view thing.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'll just wait for the YouTube clips
Yeah.
afterwards. The pay-per-view seems like such an archaic thing now. I'm like, or I could just wait for the highlight. Like I'll watch the 15-second clip of the guy getting knocked out, and I saw everything I needed to see. You know. So, then again, I'm not the biggest fan of all these things. So, yeah, interesting. All right. I had no idea. I thought this was going to be a year's worth of building up and getting people and all that stuff. But
I mean, they've started. I mean, it was a pretty long buildup, I guess. Oh, I guess, yeah, from the time that they announced people, it hasn't been that long. But the idea of it has been going on for a while.
yeah. They've been talking about it for a while. So, yeah. And it's like like the people funding it probably aren't capable themselves of running it. So you got to find people to help that also know how to run those individual competitions. Then you have to have the volunteers for it. And then I wonder if there's, all right, let's say if I happen to be in Las Vegas and they're like, we need referees, and I go and referee the enhanced games. Is that a violation of anything? Like it's a completely different federation. It's not like, so like I want like, because like I could go and I could referee at a powerlifting event, but not all of those are drug free either.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that works too. Like who's sitting in those chairs or they should just go for the gold and be
sitting in those chairs. That's the other thing of like, are they just, nobody knows. Like, are they just maxing out? Maybe I'll watch one of Wes Kitz's videos. I've been avoiding it, but maybe he explains it. But from what I've seen, nobody really knows yet of how they're going to do it.
Like they should just go all in and be like, hey, no press out rule. Like just because that's how you would make it cool.
Yeah. If somebody broke a world record and they pressed out, I would be hype over it. I'd be like, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like use the rules that we kind of wish we had, where the cream will rise to the crop regardless. And if you are the pressiest lifter, but you're beating everybody else with obscene weights, boy, are you strong. You just suck technically, but you're crazy strong, So it's like when those super heavyweights, like when their elbow bobbles a little bit with nearly 600 pounds over their head, who cares? Like at some point, there must be a threshold on the amount of weight that can go overhead and not have the elbows buckle a little bit. Like let's be honest, they probably were not designed to do that. But that's part of sport. We do so many things in sports that's like, yeah, doing that meant death, like on a survival standpoint. Like the competitions where they have to free solo dive to like depths on one breath and stuff like that. It's like you would never do that for any reason other than we live in a time of an abundance and this is for funsies. because there could be something down there that would kill you or eat you, or you would just die. And you wouldn't risk just dying because everything
Yep.
was meant for you just to try to live. So I think we have to have more accommodations for like the extreme upper ends, you know.
Yeah.
But then how do you then award excellence beyond that if you do have the perfect lockout and technique?
Yeah.
Or if it goes overhead, you press it out. Is that the perfect technique to lift the weight now?
Yeah, I think we said it before where it's like, I think like technically one is better than the other. So I think the best will still be the person who locks it out better. Like it's not going to be someone who purposefully or always presses out that is going to get the heaviest lift. But the
Yeah.
reality is like we've seen like lifts from Lasha where they already called like this is a world record and like he goes side to side a lot. And it's like they have called it, but like other times they haven't. And it's, you know, as long as you're not trying to, I think the fully locked out is always going to be the best way.
Yeah.
Um,
Plus the one
but yeah,
that is pressy all the time, it just means you have your door open to injury way more
right.
often than other people are. So from a longevity standpoint, I mean, Lasha's he's different. He's just it's like we
Yeah.
keep saying, he's different. Other people, I'm sure there's many like him, never made it there because they got hurt way before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny again, like there's like another like double standard on like when it's clear that like, okay, so we have weightlifters that are protected. You can tell, but yet we're going to get on people for doing other things, you know, because like they're not royalty. You know, there was a while there where like you could tell who's protected in the sport and like who is, and there's so many. It's just weightlifting is a tough sport to comment on itself in some portions of just because of all the levels of the corruption that run deep within it. I'm like, yeah, that judge hates you or hates your country, so you might be held to a different standard, or
Right.
people are paid off and this and that, and all sports. I just saw a thing with basketball where they might be starting to get onto teams that are purposely throwing games to have better draft selections. And have you heard about this?
Yeah, I mean that's always come up in all sports with like tanking. Like you get a couple games in and you look at your team or like your star quarterback gets injured in preseason and you're like, we're not going to win. We're not going to the playoffs. So we might as well do as bad as we can so that we can get a number one draft pick.
But now go back to the other part of the conversation. You've got Miguel Porter. He's excited to see his team. He saved up $2,000. He's got $5,000 to have courtside seats and see all this. And then like the team isn't even trying. All right. Why pay for that seat then? Like you should if all of a sudden you tank the season, you're like, hey, fan base, we're out. We need better players. We're just gonna coast through the rest of this. We're gonna discount ticket sales 50%. Like it'll never happen. It's never gonna happen. But it's like it's all kind of like it's all like, well, why is this okay? Why is that not okay? Kind of a deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Boy, I'd be mad if I paid a lot of money to go see my team and I wasn't like in the know like that. And then you're like why are we losing so bad? They're not even trying, you know. They're not even putting out the star guys and stuff like that. Like that would stink.
Yeah, I mean it happens a lot. You'll see the tweets every now and then where they're like, all of the stars were rested today. I bought these tickets months ago. I didn't know that everyone was going to take today off. Like, yeah.
Really?
Especially as you get closer to like at the end of regular season, like if your team already clinched a spot and you're like, all right, we're not going to jump a seeding by one win or one loss. So we'll take out Steph Curry. We'll take out Klay Thompson. We'll take out, what is his name? Green. Why am I forgetting his first name? But anyway, they're like, yeah, we'll take out all the stars because we don't want them to get hurt in like the last few regular season games, but you didn't know that when you bought them in, September, and now it's May, and you're like, oh, so nobody's playing. That's great.
Oh my God, that would suck. And you know what? Everybody doing that, you deserve everything you're getting with ticket sales down, stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
that would be like I bought concert tickets back in November, and I show up to the Opeth show, and they're like, "Hey, everybody, Michael Akefeld couldn't come, but we have a stand-in, and he's gonna sing the songs." I would
Right.
leave immediately. I'd be like, "This is not like, like that would be awful." Like imagine if
I
that
mean,
was the practice
it's
in the
always a
music
risk.
industry.
It's always I mean, musicians will cancel a concert the day of because they're like, I lost my voice, or like, I'm sick and I can't.
I can
Like,
understand. I can understand that a little bit more. I can understand.
but
that.
the thing is, like, I bought tickets that are like, all right, it's September now. I'm buying a ticket for July next year. And like, you never know what's going to happen. I bought tickets. This was 2016, like the beginning of Kanye West starting to like do the real crazy stuff. And I remember buying tickets probably 6 months in advance, and the tour got canceled maybe 4 months later, like 2 months before our actual show. And you could see it in the shows like leading up, where like he would stop the concert and go on a rant and then leave early, or like come out way late. And then like I'm looking at the Albany date and I'm like, please, please. And then the concert just gets canceled before. Like, it's always, and then like you might get money back, you might not. They might do the thing where they're like, I'm rescheduling it, but you're like, I already took that day off. I can't go see you again in 2 weeks. Or like, I got a hotel because I wanted to go see it in Toronto when you were there. And yeah, that stuff happens. It sucks, but it happens a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. If I knew that Kanye was coming to Albany, and there are chances that he'll stop songs and just go on stories and tirades, I'm there. It makes me actually want to go more just to see.
It was a weird time again, because it was the beginning of him starting to do stuff like this. So you were like, man, I could be kind of famous if I get a good video of him doing it.
Yeah.
But then you're like, but I hope he does show up though. And then yeah.
Well, like that, like you just bought tickets to Jay-Z. Imagine if like the day of the show you're already in transit, and then you see a tweet, "Sorry, fam, my belly hurts. No show tonight. No refunds." Also,
like, yeah, when they do like many nights in one city, and you're like, all right, I'm going to the third night of them here. What if they lose their voice the night before? Like, what if the night before is the greatest one that they do? And then they're like, man, I really spent it. Sorry, tonight's going to be like pretty lackluster. And you're like, oh, man.
That's that. I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but I'm going to go see Iron Maiden in September, and they're playing Saturday, Sunday, and we have tickets for Sunday. And they're starting earlier, but also like they're old now, So it's like, hey, Bruce, don't hit those high notes on Saturday. Like save a little bit, save a little bit for that. And I there was just a show in Hershey, Pennsylvania for Pussifer. I think it's the week after I went. They had to cancel it because the pipes burst in the building, and the seats got wet and everything. And they actually ended up rescheduling it for the weekend after, which is like unheard of for the band to stay around or loop back up before they went out west. But Maynard put out a video. He's like, I didn't want you guys to lose the show. Sorry, it happened. Nothing we could have done about that, but we're coming back. And it's only a week later. So it's like, I thought that was pretty cool. Cause from what I heard most of the time, a canceled show means it ain't coming back for at least a year or so. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen. Well, hey, maybe tickets for the enhanced game will be more affordable than the Olympics, and they'll probably be available.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Free entry.
Yeah. Please come.
Yeah, please come. It's I wonder if anybody will. Yeah. Well, we'll cover it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll talk about it. We'll see what's going on. I'm interested now. I'm interested now.
Yeah.
I just want to see it. I want I want to see everybody get paid and then see what happens with the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. Well, anything else in the weightlifting world, Miguel, that you had on your list?
No, it's been kind of quiet. Some big training lifts from people, but we're back to like competition season. So, yeah, Europeans, Pan Ams, Asian champs, all that will start again. So, yeah, it'll be cool to see like what people are actually doing since
Nice.
Worlds.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It does seem like compared to CrossFit, there's just always like such downtime in weightlifting, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean people aren't training. It's just I still feel like weightlifting is more of a like head down, keep grinding
Yep.
kind of a sport, where CrossFit's a little more flashy, a little more look at me, here's my video,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I don't know if I don't think these weightlifters have media teams like the CrossFit people do.
Yeah.
Do they?
Some do. Yeah.
Some do. Yeah. I think I would assume that the CrossFit athletes are a little more well off than the weightlifting ones. I still have this
Oh,
mindset
yeah.
of the poor weightlifter, you know, who's struggling to get
Yeah.
by and
I mean,
stuff like
like,
that.
yeah, like one that I follow is like the Samoan Weightlifting Federation. And it's like they're just filming on their phone still. But it's
Yeah.
like you get all of them training together. So you're like, that's cool. But
Yeah.
no, nobody has like the
And
camera crews really.
because like the meets they're going to, you don't really get paid to do those. You
Yeah.
know, you're just funded to train and then you better go do well, you know. But like if you win the open, you know, like several thousand, you know, over 10 grand, right? Like, so like CrossFit athletes are making money.
Mhm.
Weightlifters got to figure out how to make this money. They got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Next season of Enhanced Games, bam, just everyone's in it. I wonder if eventually they'll start to try to get CrossFitters or CrossFitters in the weightlifting side or just CrossFit in general. I kind of feel like it would go badly if they tried to do that.
Yeah, because like how do you even it's it's harder to make events then. Like you need someone who can craft like a enhanced games, CrossFit games. Unless
Well,
you
and
just steal events that the CrossFit games have done.
yeah. Well, and I also feel too like I don't think the community like I don't I think the community in weightlifting might be split or meh or feel like I do or feel like you do. I feel like there'd be a lot more backlash on like the athletes. Like I feel like it would be
Agreed.
looked down upon because CrossFit's a little more holistic. They're still
Yeah.
like eat well, do like so I feel like it would be looked at differently than a sport that already has a long so many decades, half a century of drug use
Right.
associated with it. Whereas in
Hmm.
CrossFit, it's like people like you would have a really hard time coming back and people not being like, because
Yeah,
now you do well and people will just assume. I don't know. The haters would really be hating, I think.
definitely.
Not me. I'd be like, all right, look, Ricky, let's make money together. That's me and you. Give me some of that money. Really, I need $15, Ricky, please. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. Is there anyone in the CrossFit space you could see doing something like that?
No, like you said, I think it's so, and it's not even as translatable. Like weightlifting is very niche, but at least if you got an open crowd, you can be like, see, this isn't the Olympics.
Yeah.
This is a snatch. This is a clean and jerk. Weightlifting, I'm not even sure on like what that would, or CrossFit, I'm not even sure like what that would look like in a way to like gain outside people that don't know CrossFit to watch it.
Well, how about CrossFitters, but they went to do the enhanced games for weightlifting, like a Guy Mojeros. If
Yeah.
he's like, hey, I'm not doing the open, I'm retiring from CrossFit for a little while. I'm gonna go do this enhanced games, whatnot. They offered me $100,000.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I
I
think
kind
he's the best example, but I don't think he would. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like people would give him a pass.
He's young. He's got enough
Yeah.
years to like stay quiet and then come back. I think so.
Yeah. And then when he's done with the enhanced games, comes back. And really, I feel like you're just like one social media post / video away of asking for forgiveness or like explaining yourself, and people are fine with it.
Yeah.
All right. I announced tomorrow on my Instagram. James McDermott, enhanced games. Here we go. Here we go. I can do hollow rocks. That's it. That's the one thing I can do. All right. Well, good talk, Miguel. We'll have to talk more about weightlifting as things happen, especially with Pan Am's coming up, and also the regional in 2 weeks. But yeah, where can people follow you?
Couldn't be Miguel on Instagram.
Cool. Follow me, James A. McDermott. Follow the team, Albany Cross the Barbell Club. But that'd be a great April Fool's thing. Albany Cross Bar Enhanced League Team or something like that. Like be enhanced. But yes, follow Albany CrossFit, and we will talk to everybody again later.